Well, all right, guys, here we are with another episode of How Ugly Is My Face. I know the wrinkles. You can't unsee what you're seeing right now, and you want to run so fast, but you're stuck with me right now. Until I talk about how we will save the world or destroy the world with this. And your homework was to read it yesterday. Did you? I know you didn't do your homework because nobody ever does. And in the modern world of technology, nobody reads books anymore or scribbles that people do anymore. It's all about the video content. If it's not spoken, it is not heard. And even when it's spoken, most often it's not seen. That's okay. That's okay. That's the modern world of technology, as Eli the computer guy always says. Now, I used to play this cool game. It was called SimCity. No, it's not The Sims. No, it's not whatever is being sold out these days. Horrible, horrible stuff. It was very simplistic stuff. And it taught us the basics of how to build a city. Now, we want to build cities on the moon, and we want to build cities in space. We want to build something on Mars and colonize places. Well, we could do that with AI, couldn't we? Wouldn't it be amazing if we used AI the right way instead of just destroying people's jobs, putting people out of work, making people feel inadequate and unworthy of being part of the system? No, we can't do things the right way, can we? We always have to do the thing that we do, which is we're about to make a lot of money and our pot of gold is getting bigger. And as we take that money and put it in our pocket, we just get rid of a bunch of people that were working for us. That's the modern world. Anyway. So let's talk about the question that Eli the computer guy talked about and that I've been talking about for so many years, which is manufacturing. How do you start a factory? Can you even do that in America? Well, if you're a trillionaire like Elon Musk, what they do is they don't build a new factory. They find an old factory that may have all the equipment that they need, which is, first of all, that's pretty lucky that you find that, right? Because most of the machines have been rusting and falling apart and all that stuff. So you got to do that, or you have to build something from scratch. And building something from scratch is not something that America is able to do these days very well. China can do it pretty well. India may be able to do it very well. But we are just not equipped. So when I wanted to build the Bumpaflex, or when I wanted to build, you know how you have RC cars with shells, like the outer shell of the car, you can just switch it out and do that either for remote control cars or do it for real cars and all that stuff. I ran into the problem of, and now how do I build a factory? And even if you build a factory, then you have to build all the infrastructure for powering the factory and all the machines. And it costs so much money that you may have to build your own power plant just to run the machines that you want to run. So it is an absolute crap show. And again, if you are like a 18-year-old trying to do all this cool stuff, because now you have the power of AI at your fingertips and everything is easier, you still can't build anything. But anyway, SimCity was a great thing. And I wanted to create a bot city. How can we create a bot city? We're going to have to get factory bots, right? Because you need a factory to build these robots. But those things, right, need to be maintained. So then you need to build robots that maintain the machines that build the robot parts. So you need everything to be done inside the system so that it can be self-maintained and run, let's say, on the moon or on a different planet, because you can't spend, trillions of dollars always sending equipment up and down. We know how expensive it is because we use rockets, which are obsolete. We know that rockets are obsolete. But if you want to run everything on fuel, on oil, which is obsolete, instead of nuclear powered engines, whether it's cold fusion or free energy or hot fusion, then you're going to run into this problem. So anyway, you need a machine that builds parts for your machines. You need machines to operate the machines and fix the machines. Then, on top of that, if you want to build a society, right, there you're going to have a need for materials. So you're going to need mining robots to get plastics and to get metals and to get gold and to get all these things that you need for microchips. And if you want internet connectivity, you have to build all that into the structure. So you need so much to go into there. And once that's set up so that the robots are able to live on the planet, then you can move to the next step. The next step would be to have food farms. And the easiest ones to put together are hydroponics, because everybody knows that. That's why instead of going back to the offices, we should turn all of those big sky-rise buildings into hydroponics factories, because all of that land, you know, you have a small bottom to the building and it goes up, 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 up. Look at that. They have windows. That's perfect for lighting and letting the sun in, and building hydroponics farms instead of putting humans in there. Humans don't like being stuck in cubicles all day long. But anyway, it's the modern world of technology where everybody's sending everybody back to work. What idiocy. But anyway, so we talked about we need to repair, we need to build houses for people. We need compost because, you know, once you finished eating, then you're going to use plumbing and all that stuff. And then when you're in space, you can't just let the poop wander off into the abyss, into space, right? You need to collect it and then reuse it. Believe it or not, poop and pee gets recycled and you end up fertilizing your crops, and you end up re-drinking whatever water is recycled through the system. So you have to clean it well. You can't put all those biologicals and chemicals back into the system. And definitely not pills and all that stuff like Big Pharma will give you, because otherwise all that stuff goes back into your plants and you end up eating those plants and getting sick. So we're going to need electrical robots to create the electrical infrastructure. We're going to need plumbing robots. We're going to need cleaning and road building robots. We're going to have house building robots and mining, and as we said, charging stations, and we're going to need water and healthcare. So that's a lot of stuff that we need in order to create this society on the moon and on Mars and stuff. But we should start building these things for the homeless. We should start building these systems out there, let's say at the southern border, so that instead of bringing in illegals directly into the country, they can live there until they are qualified to come in. Unlike what we do now, which is we just let them in and they just wander off like zombies. And plenty of companies, instead of paying Americans to do the work, they just give it to them. So anyway, it is so many things we can do with technology if we cared about stuff. And it would fix a lot of problems. It would fix a lot of problems for everybody. But nobody wants to care about the homeless. And nobody cares about colonizing the moon. Let's be real. They just want to tell you someday we'll be there, just like NASA. Liars! Liars, I tell you! What's the face doing? What is the face doing? Not much difference from yesterday. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.